Hello students. Now we are going to discuss about a preamble vector. This is a kind of hybrid vector in which both the phage genome and plasmid DNA elements are merged together. So for the construction of this preamble, a small fragment of the F1 phage genome that is inserted into a PUC vector. F1 phage is closely related to M13 phages. M13 phages, you all know about that. We have discussed a lot about this. These F1 phages are similar to that of M13 phages, and both having single stranded and double stranded DNA in their life cycles. So, a piece of DNA fragment from F1 genome inserted into PUC. PUC is a plasmid vector that is well known in the process of RDNA technology. It's having a double stranded DNA. Normally, it cannot be packaged into phage genome. So, imparting these capabilities, that means for packaging into phage virions, we are giving them a new property, that is packaging property from the F1 genome. So this F1 fragment having all the six acting elements required for the DNA replication and other morphogenesis process in the life cycle. This is the or structure of a preamble vector. Normally, it's having a size of around 3,997 base pair. Starting from here to here up to last region, this is a part from PUC vector. See, from here to here, this is the DNA element from PUC plasmid. And see this purple colored DNA element. See this one. This is actually from M13 or F1 phage genome. So you have constructed a vector that is preamble vector. This is a by transformation process it can be introduced into bacterial cell, so you can harbor this double stranded preamble vector into that bacterial cell. Whenever you require a single stranded DNA or a single stranded form of this preamble, you have to infect that bacterial cell with the phages. M13 or F1 can be used. That phage now produces DNA replicating proteins or elements. That DNA replicating proteins or elements interact with the F1 DNA fragment of the preamble, and from there the replication starts and forms a single stranded DNA of the preamble. See, this is the F1 replicating proteins that interacts with the M13 or F1 DNA fragment of the preamble. So replication starts from here and forms single stranded DNA from this double stranded replicative form. And this single stranded form can be packaged into the capsid protein. So forms preamble 8 phage particles or phage virions. Okay, coming to the useful properties of the preamble family, whenever you require single stranded form of the preamble, you have to infect that bacterial cell with the phages, then you will get single stranded form of the preamble vector or single stranded form of the gene of insert. So coming to the construction of preamble 8, This is a kind of a preamble vector, preamble 8. For the construction of that, you have to excise a 1300 base pair fragment from the F1 paginum. Actually, you are getting it from the PD4 vector. This PD4 vector is a kind of hybrid vector already constructed, and it's having an F1 genome inserted into the plasmid vector. So you have to treat that PDF4 with the EcoR1, and that EcoR1 treatment can excise a fragment having a size of around 1300 base pair, and that fragment need to be inserted into the Narwhal site to the PUC8. For the construction of PMBL8, we have used PUC8. That's why the newly constructed vector having the name PMBL8. If you have used PUC9 for the construction, then the PMBL may be known as PMBL9. Now, here we have used PUC8. That's why the name is PMBL8. So that fragment from PD4 inserted into PUC8 vector in both orientation. That means so there forms two PMBL plasmids, and it can be designated as PMBL8 plus and PMBL8 minus. Both having same sequences, but the inserted F1 genome is in opposite orientations. That is the only difference in between these two. See, this is the PUC8 vector, and this is the PD4 vector. The This is the F1 genome region flanked by EcoR1 site. See, this is the EcoR1 site. This is another EcoR1 site. While treating this plasmid with EcoR1 restriction enzyme, it will react or cut over here and also here. So this fragment may get excised. Okay. And this fragment having a size of around 1300 base pair, and that fragment may be introduced into the Narwan side. Narwan is a restriction site, so that site may get opened by BAL 31 restriction site treatment. Then after treating this, Narwan get opened, and that fragment can be introduced into this opened region of the PUC8. And you have to keep in mind that this Narwan is a safe region because it cannot destroy or disrupt the redeemed frames of Laxi or origin of replication or ampicillin resistant gene region of the PUC8. That's why we have chosen this Narwan site for introduction of the Phage genome. Okay, see this Laxi is intact. See this original replication, ampicillin resistant, these regions are intact. So there is now harm for any one of the gene of this PUC8. After that, you have to ligate these DNA fragments. I have already told you that this F1 genome fragment that can be inserted into two orientation. So there develops two vectors. They may be designated as PMBL8 plus and PMBL8 minus. So for the construction of that, there are several steps amid this. We are going through this. So introduced into here, then ligated those DNA fragments. So there forms three populations of vectors. One with one orientation of the F1 genome, and another with the opposite orientation of the F1 genome, and another is the vector PUC8 that doesn't have any insert. So we have to opt out the last one. For that, transformation of this after the ligation of the F1 genome into PUC8. That means after the construction of the PMBL8 plus and minus, you need to introduce this vector into a host cell, that is E. coli, ampicillin sensitive one. After the transformation process, the transformant E. coli having ampicillin resistant capabilities. So those transformant E. coli can be selected in a medium having ampicillin. So this is a plate with a medium having ampicillin. So the colonies are developed in the plate, all of them having ampicillin resistant capabilities. Ampicillin resistant means those having PUC8 with this fragment in one orientation and also in opposite orientation. PUC8 vector that doesn't have any insert also can be grown in this medium. So the next process is that you have to opt out the PUC8 that doesn't have any foreign insert. We need only these two. So for that, you have to replicate plate this colony into a new plate having medium that's spreaded with F1 progenies or F1 phages. So what is happened here is that these F1 phages may infect the bacteria cells over here and convert the double stranded DNA present in the uh, E. coli cell into single stranded DNA, and that single stranded genome may be uploaded or packaged into the progenies capsid, and thousands of progenies, viral progenies may be evolved from the bacteria cell. So all the bacteriophage progenies that is evolving from this plate having PMBL8 uh, vectors in that, maybe plus or minus whatsoever. Those progenies definitely having PMBL8 vectors in them. Here in this step, you will get single stranded forms of the PMBL8, and in the next step, we are going to introduce these phages, this PMBL into bacterial cell again. So you have to replicate these phage genome or phage progenies into another plate having bacterial cell in that. It's also grown in a medium with ampicillin and streptomycin in that. So in that bacterial cell, these bacteriophages infect those bacterial cells present in this plate, and their genome may be introduced in those bacterial cells. So now these bacteria that harbors preamble vectors in that. For isolating this PMBL8, you have ample choices, ample protocols in front of you. You can isolate and purify these vectors, and then for the sequencing, you will get to know in what orientation this phage genome may be inserted into the PUC8. Okay.